Right now on your news at 6, only on WIS tonight, the mother of a child who was inside the car of a chase that's coming up.
No contact whatsoever. That's gonna kill her and it's gonna kill him, but we gotta do what they say.
We'll have details from the courtroom as the suspect faces a judge for the first time. Plus, a student at Benedict College found dead in Lancaster. The latest on that investigation.
And we're tracking some storms. A few have even reached severe limits. We have some strong storms down near Bamberg County. We're going to talk about whether or not those will move into your neighborhood coming up in just a few minutes.
Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Good evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Emily Scarlett. A man accused of leading Richland County deputies on a dramatic high-speed chase that played out on live television last night had his first appearance before a judge today. The suspect, 22-year-old Brian Martin, is facing several charges, including child endangerment, because deputies say a toddler was inside the car during the chase. Our Caroline Patricus was the only reporter in the courtroom today and is live now in the newsroom with details. Caroline?
Well, Emily, it was a very tense few minutes inside of that Richland County courtroom this afternoon. First of all, the mother of that baby that was inside of the vehicle that flipped near North Main last night after a very dramatic high-speed chase played out on live television was there inside of the courtroom to defend Brian Martin. He's the man accused of leading deputies on that chase through Columbia last night with a almost two-year-old baby inside of the car. We spoke with the mother just moments after they cleared the courtroom. They cleared the courtroom because of the tense emotions that started flying across the room earlier this afternoon. Now, a judge set his bond at over $100,000 for child endangerment. He's also charged with resisting arrest, possession of marijuana, failure to stop for blue lights, and also a hit and run. Davalia Jenkins is the mother of the 2-year-old baby girl who is also Martin's daughter. Jenkins stood in that courtroom to say that she has no concerns with him seeing his daughter again, but the judge denied that and said at this time he is not allowed to make contact with his child. Now, Martin broke down in tears, as you just saw, inside of the courtroom, and an officer came to pick him up. Jenkins and other family members were also there and distraught. Jenkins spoke exclusively to WIS and told us that her daughter is doing just fine. She remains in the hospital tonight. We asked her why she stood up for Brian Martin today after that dramatic scene played out. Here's what she had to say.
I understand where people come from. They feel like I shouldn't be on his side, but they don't know the true story. He's a great father. He loves his daughter. That bond is unbreakable. And yeah, he made a stupid decision not stopping the first time. That was the dumbest decision. But please just rewatch the video and you can see the car is on fire and he's trying to get away from the car. He's not trying to get away from the officer.
Now, that was her side of the story. The chase started on Furwood Drive and ended on Elmore and North Main. It was captured on live on A&E's Live PD show. And during the 6-mile chase, Martin also hit another vehicle and is being charged with a hit and run. Now, the judge stated that as of now, of course, he's not allowed to make contact with his daughter. And as you just saw there, the mother very emotional. We'll have more coming up tonight at 11. For now, live here in the newsroom, I'm Caroline Patricus for WIS News 10.
Nice job, Caroline. And you can find more information about this on our website. Find the full story on WISTV.com. We're keeping a close eye on the radar tonight as the chance of storms remains. Several of you saw some storms last night. Here's a live look over downtown Columbia. It's cloudy as the rain moves closer. Let's send it over to meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin for an update on what we can expect to see tonight. Vaughn?
Well, Emily, it looks like we're going to once again do it all over again, where we're tracking showers and strong storms. As we look at what's going on now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that continues down for Bamberg County. And this is for the strong storm you see now over Earhart, over Smokes into St. George, moving at about 5 miles per hour, so extremely slow. The issue will be some flooding, but with this being a lot of rural farmland, this is going to be right on time for them. Into Bamberg, we're going to see this storm move into there, also infecting parts of Cope and Bowman over the next few minutes or so. One lone storm that is near Richland County, this one right over Bluff Estates, or it's going to be moving moving over Bluff Estates from the 12th Street Extension area. And then we have one north of Pillion, and this is going to be right over 215. So as we start to see it lifting northward, it's probably going to hit just south of South Congaree before it dies out. Also, we're looking at just lighter rain, more or less, over near Orangeburg. This will probably head over towards Cameron, Ellery, and Lone Star in the next few minutes or so. As we look at what's going on, we have to remind you we still have a marginal risk for severe weather. So that's why we're seeing some of those strong storms starting to pop up across the area. We'll continue to see off and on showers and storms for the rest of the evening. Overnight low going down to 73. 30% chance you'll continue to run into some storms for the rest of the night. Tomorrow, hot and humid yet again. 92 is where we'll go tomorrow with a 50% chance of storms. And yes, it will be hotter once you factor in the humidity. We're going to talk a bit more about what you can expect for the rest of this day and heading into the work week coming up shortly.
Thanks, Vaughn. A Lancaster man and Benedict College student has been found dead. He'd been missing since last Wednesday. The body of Jarrell White was found in a pond about 50 feet from where he was last seen, caught on camera jumping a fence there. So far, the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office has not said whether his death is suspicious, but his family says they're still hoping for answers.
Praying that they find him, and I was praying that he would be alive, because there's a story to be told, and he can't tell his story.
An autopsy on White's body was set to happen today, but so far, no word on the results. Benedict College has released a statement on the death, saying the Benedict College family is heartbroken and saddened about the passing of Mr. Jarrell Catron Eugene White. Mr. White was a native of Lancaster, South Carolina, and a rising sophomore. He was a bright and talented student who will be dearly missed. Please join the Benedict College family in praying for our fallen Tiger and his family. What was supposed to be a night of celebration and fun turns into tragedy. A gender reveal party in Ohio ends with 9 people shot and 1 killed. Police just spoke a couple hours ago about this tragedy. A 22-year-old woman died and 5 adults and 3 children, all under the age of 8, were shot during the party around 11:30 last night. Deputies who responded say the scene was like nothing they've encountered before.
And he says, you got children that are crying and people are saying, help me. And he said it was just a horrific scene. He said he never expected to be able to walk into a house to a scene like that.
A woman who says the party was for her told our sister station she was shot in the leg and miscarried during the chaos. Right now, deputies say they have no information on who the suspect or suspects might be and are urging people to come forward with information. A Lowcountry man is facing charges tonight after officials say he tried to impersonate an officer. Alfred Swan was arrested in Mount Pleasant Friday night. Officials say he was standing outside a store harassing customers. They even say he told actual officers that he would have them arrested if they didn't leave him alone, claiming he was working on a case. He faces 1 count of impersonating an officer, resisting arrest, and public intoxication. The G20 summit is over, but questions remain. Coming up after the break, we take a look at where relations between the U.S. and Russia stand.
And we'll be tracking storms not just for the rest of this day, but also into tomorrow. We're going to talk details about what you can expect for the first day of the work week coming up shortly. But then we're going to take the chance of storms down to about 20%, at least for a little while on your Wednesday and into your Thursday. Emily?
Thanks, Vaughn. President Donald Trump is tweeting about working with Russia today following the G20 summit. Meanwhile, the federal government's top ethics watchdog is speaking for the first time since his resignation. David Daniel reports.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said today, while speaking in the Ukraine, that the first topic for discussion between President Donald Trump and Putin during the G20 summit was Russia's suspected interference in the U.S. election.
This was the first topic for discussion. President Trump raised it directly with President Putin. I think, in all candidness, we did not expect an answer other than the one we received.
Trump hasn't so far disputed Putin's account of the meeting, which was that Trump accepted Putin's denial of interfering in the election. Tweeting today, it's time to move forward and work together. Also tweeting, Putin and I discussed forming an impenetrable cybersecurity unit so that election hacking and many other negative things will be guarded. Also speaking today, the government's top ethics watchdog, Walter Schaub. He is director of the Office of Government Ethics and last week announced his resignation from that post. Schaub has repeatedly butted heads with the Trump administration over conflicts of interest.
I really always thought that the ethics rules were strong enough. to protect the integrity of the government's operations. My recent experiences have convinced me that they need strengthening.
No word on who will replace the federal ethics director. I'm David Daniel reporting.
Volunteers marched down the streets of Hamburg, Germany today with buckets and brooms, all part of a cleanup drive after shops were looted and cars burned during violent protests during this year's G20 summit. Germany's president said authorities had not seen violence of this magnitude in several years. Officials say more than 470 officers were injured in the violence since Thursday. One man's proposal plan thwarted by handcuffs, but he didn't let that stop him. The under arrest proposal all caught on camera, coming up on your news at 6. Saturday morning, a little cub with its head stuck in a jug, and it was all caught on camera. Officers say when they got to the scene, they saw the poor bear struggling to get that jar off its head. The cub was even trying to use a fence to pry the jug off. One police officer held the cub while a wildlife agent removed the jug. Once free, the bear ran back off into the wild, uninjured. One man in Oklahoma wasn't going to let something like getting arrested derail his plans to propose. On July 4th, Brandon Thomas was celebrating his birthday. He apparently planned to pop the question to his girlfriend when officers showed up to arrest him on 6 felony warrants. Police body cameras show Thompson down on one knee, asking the big question. Officers even moved the handcuffs from the back to the front so he could put a ring on her finger. His new fiance bailed him out of jail. One woman is taking her love of gardening further than most. Coming up on your news at 6, hear how she's using her garden to make sure her neighbors are well fed. One Tennessee woman has taken her garden and turned it into so much more. The 73-year-old is using her garden to make sure her neighbors are well fed. Take a look at how she's doing it.
See that color right there? That's called raw burgundy. I picked some this morning.
Juanita Horton scuttles around her garden, watching over her precious plants like the owl that's always perched here.
This is what I told you smell like a cucumber. It's called salad burnet.
She takes us between flowers, vegetables, fruits, even herbs. It's the way she's decided to flavor her South Memphis block, where she says homes get knocked down often as people age and leave. But you better believe the 73-year-old also has plenty of flavor herself.
Most everybody was moved in the neighborhood, been here for years. And the children got grown and moved. So we just round for the countdown.
Horton says she started a small garden 8 years ago on a vacant plot of land.
Old shotgun house used to be here. The lady died. After a few years, they tore it down. At the time, the mayor said, if anybody see a spot of land near them, save the city money, raise a garden.
It's now grown into a massive garden that fills the entire plot. We tried to nail down exactly how many species she has. Each time, she proudly started naming the types.
Like I said, I got 4 kinds of butter beans. I got lima beans, I got Florida speckle, I got brown turkey.
And after asking repeatedly for a total, well, we all gave up.
Thyme, tarragon, that'll be winter savory, sage, and dill. I lose count.
Safe to say we agree there's nearly 100 different plants. Horton says she moved around a lot as a girl, and in every place her family grew its own food. But now she's been on Walk Place for a long time. She grows for fun and gladly donates to her neighbors.
I moved here September 9th, 69. You know, if they want it, they ask for it. It's free for the asking, and if they like it, they ask for it. I give it to them.
Whatever you need, Miss Juanita got it.
Kenny Dalton is one of the people who gets fresh produce from the garden.
She gives me like a bag of tomatoes, greens, cabbages, peppers. I've actually had high cholesterol, so it helps me a lot.
Dalton says he also appreciates the view, flowers and plants now color an empty lot.
I think it's a fantastic job that she does because it actually controls blight. We don't have to worry about trash and high weeds.
Getting ready to cut down.
Instead of weeds, it's now the fennel that's taller than she is. And it's clear this feisty grandmother is proud of her planted offspring. Just watch as she directs us where to shoot the camera.
It's a nice big one. You want to take that picture? And that's Swiss chard.
Horton says she's had multiple back surgeries. Gardening isn't always easy, but in this maze of vegetation,
well, it keeps me busy, keeps me active.
it's easy to see how she's sprucing up her entire community.
Well, check out these long lines behind me. It's not for a new phone or any product. It's all because of a rumor. Someone posted online that a local NBA star in Tennessee, Zach Randolph, paid $1 million to cover people's electric bills. Turns out it wasn't true. But people still lined up to check their account balance at kiosks around Memphis. The electric company says that $0 balance that some customers were seeing was just a glitch.
But now, once I done waited in this line and it's hot sun, they coming to us telling us it's all is a hoax, it's a scam.
That woman you just heard from said she was in line for over an hour. The electric company says they're investigating what caused this glitch. And Zach Randolph, he tweeted saying the rumors of his donation are false. Now, I mean, standing in line is already hard enough. Yeah. You stand in line all that time just to find out, oh no, actually you still do need to pay your bill this month. That'd be pretty disappointing.
I know, it would. And all that heat.
Ugh, no
awful.
Fun there. Well, hopefully they'll get that worked out, figure out why they had that glitch. We've got a final look at your forecast after the break. Okay, Vaughn, what's your favorite cookie?
I've decided that it's going to be a lemon Oreo.
Okay, I was not expecting you to go there. Peanut butter for me, but I love cookies, so I'm really not picky. But if you're a fan of sugar cookies, today is all about you. The simple treat is easy to make, but the real fun comes when you use cookie cutters to make unique shapes and decorate them with icing and sprinkles. The sugar cookie originates in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. In the 1700s, it was originally known as the Nazareth cookie. So interesting little fun fact there.
So cute. I love when people decorate the cookies like that. I don't have that type of patience, but they're yummy.
Yeah, fun to eat. I don't necessarily make them. How are we doing outside today, Vaughn?
It's hot, it's humid, pretty much the same story. We're going to have the same forecast for the entire week, probably for the rest of the month, really. And hot, humid with an opportunity for storms in the afternoon and evening hours. We'll have a daytime high of 96 on Wednesday. Think about the humidity, and it could certainly feel like, of course, the triple digits.
So same old song over these next couple of days here.
Same thing.
Thanks, Vaughn.
Same forecast.
Thanks for watching. We're back at 11.